Hello everyone and welcome to MoraliQ. One day, a fisherman went to the river to fish, just as he did every other day. He threw his net into the water, sat down, and waited patiently for his catch. He hoped to catch enough fish to sell at the market and make a good amount of money. After some time, the fisherman felt a tug on the net. He thought that he must have caught a large number of fish. Eager to see his catch, he pulled the net out of the water. But to his surprise, there was only one tiny little fish caught in the net. As the fisherman examined the fish, something strange happened. The little fish suddenly spoke. "Oh, fisherman, please let me go," the fish pleaded. "I beg you, spare my life. I promise I will help you if you release me." The fisherman was startled. He had never heard a fish talk before, but he wasn't moved by its plea. He had hoped to catch many fish that day, and he wasn't about to let this one go. However, the little fish continued, "If you let me go, I will tell all my friends in the river about you. I will guide them to the riverbank next time you come. You will catch many, many fish, far more than today." The fisherman thought for a moment. He had caught only one small fish today, but if he let it go, maybe he could catch even more tomorrow. He scratched his head, considering the offer. That doesn't sound too bad," he thought to himself. "I'll let this one go and see if the fish really do come back in greater numbers." So the fisherman decided to release the tiny fish. He gently placed the little fish back into the water, and it swam away, happily disappearing into the river. The fish promised to never return, and the fisherman felt hopeful that he would catch many more fish the next day. The next morning, the fisherman returned to the river, eager to see how many fish he would catch. He threw his net into the water, expecting a big haul of fish, just as the tiny fish had promised. He waited eagerly, his hopes high. But as the hours passed, the fisherman began to grow impatient. He pulled his net in, but it was empty. There were no fish at all. Confused, the fisherman threw his net back into the river and waited again. Still no fish came. He tried again and again, but the river remained empty. It seemed that the little fish's promise was just a trick. The fisherman spent the entire day at the river, but he caught nothing. He finally realized that he had been outwitted by the clever little fish. The tiny fish had saved itself by convincing him to release it, and in return it had made the fisherman believe that he would be rewarded with a larger catch. Feeling foolish, the fisherman slowly packed up his gear and walked home. As he walked, he reflected on what had happened. He realized that the fish had been much cleverer than he had thought. The tiny fish had outsmarted him and had escaped danger, while the fisherman ended up with nothing. The fisherman learned an important lesson that day. Sometimes the smallest creatures can be the most clever, and not every promise leads to a good outcome. From then on, the fisherman understood that he should think carefully before making decisions, especially when something seems too good to be true. The clever little fish had taught him a valuable lesson. The best way to succeed is not always by following promises, but by using wisdom and caution. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that can fuel your mind and spirit.